Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health series that focuses on you, empowering you, and not, underlying not, empowering big pharma, big medicine, the AMA, big government, the technocracy, puppets such as that, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, Fauci. This is about giving you information that you can utilize to enhance your own health and your own wellness. And this is a series Dr. Peter Glidden and I have been doing for over 2.5 years. Now, my background is as a MD, so-called allopathic medicine. Dr. Peter Glidden is a naturopathic physician, one of the top naturopathic physicians in our continent, in the world. And Peter's approach to health and wellness was very different from what I was trained in through the medical school I attended, which is MD school, the allopathic school, whatever you want to call it. Because my training focused on, I was a surgeon, so our philosophy is a chance to cut is a chance to cure. However, from a medical standpoint, or if you will, an internal medicine standpoint, we were pushed to use pharmaceutical agents. And that shouldn't surprise anybody, because if you look at the medical schools, all their endowed chairs, many of them, are by big pharmaceutical companies. But Peter's approach is drastically different. And I have become, over the years, a huge proponent of Peter's approach through naturopathic medicine. Now, in addition to being a fantastic physician and a fantastic researcher, Peter's also a fantastic author. There are 2 books that should be the foundation of your medical library at home. It is of ours. Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, that Peter authored, and Attempt to Cure with a Holistic Medicine, that Peter also authored, which is present on his website, drglidden.com, and also present on Amazon. Today's topic is going to be the secret to optimize your liver function. The liver is critical to breaking down toxins that you come in contact with, just as one of its components. It's my honor to welcome back our friend, Dr. Peter Glidden. Pete, welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health platform.
It's always a pleasure, Dave. And we can cut this and make this interview really short, because the secret to having a healthy liver, Ukrainian vodka.
Oh, there we go. Oompa.
Do they even make vodka in the Ukraine? It's probably not.
I don't think so. But I wonder if Jill Biden brought some of that home when she was recently there, while Joe was hiding in the basement at the White House while it was going on. Anyway, that's a topic for a different story. So other than Ukrainian vodka, which we're not sure quite exists, let's talk about the liver.
Well, the liver is super fascinating and super interesting. And I mean, if you really want to have your head explode, for those in the listening audience, just do a web search for liver function and look at all of the things that the liver does. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hormone regulation, it's sugar metabolism, it's detoxification of the body, a lot of things going on. And there are some alternative, quote unquote, medical researchers who believe that the human body is a battery. The human body has a positive pole and a negative pole. The positive pole of the human body being the brain, the negative pole of the human body being the liver. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that since statin drugs were introduced to the market, there's been an dramatic uptick in Alzheimer's disease.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Did you know that statin drugs work to lower cholesterol, which is a silly thing to do in the first place, but how statin drugs lower cholesterol is by creating inflammation in the liver. Because the liver can make cholesterol. That's how important cholesterol is to the body. The liver can make it. So when you inflame the liver every day, sometimes 2 times a day by taking your statin drug, you're going to mess up the battery in the human body, and the brain is going to be affected physiologically or kind of electrophysiologically. And also it's going to be deficient in cholesterol because the liver can't make it anymore because of the statin drugs. So it's a crap show. So it's really interesting organ, the liver, for a lot of different reasons. But the most interesting, it's the only organ in the human body that can regenerate itself.
True. Yeah.
You can surgically remove a lot of it, like 70-something% of it. It will grow back. It's the only organ that does. Skin doesn't even do that. So now, this isn't rocket science, by the way. Medicine isn't rocket science. The medical doctors would like you to think that it is, but it's not. And inquiring minds would like to know, well, if the liver has the physiological metabolic ability to fix itself, regrow itself, wouldn't it be a good idea to take stuff into the body that stimulates and nurtures that process? I mean, wouldn't that be a good idea? Well, as a matter of fact, it would be a good idea because there's an old naturopathic maxim, and I'm giving you inside information right now. The maxim is, when in doubt about what to do to help somebody, when you have no idea what to do, treat the liver.
Interesting.
Step one, treat the liver, because it's so intimately involved with basically every metabolic process in the human body. Super important. And as it turns out, one of the easiest organs in the body to fix, and parenthetically because of its ability to regenerate itself. So it's a really interesting organ on many different aspects, and having optimal liver function will, by physiological definition, make everything else in the body work better. So it's a really smart thing to do.
So let's talk about optimizing liver function. Your recommendations from a nutritional standpoint.
So, first things first, what we do with everybody is we give them the foundation pack, which contains all 90 essential nutrients that everything in the body needs to work, because everything is connected. And if you just focus on one part of the body, you're going to upset the apple cart. You're going to have unintended consequences. You're going to have ramifications that you weren't expecting, because everything's connected, for goodness sakes. So step number one, take the healthy foundation pack. Step number two, eliminate the 12 bad foods, because you don't want to be putting diesel fuel into an unleaded engine every day. It's a bad idea.
It's also expensive.
Also expensive. Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, right. You got that right.
So the number three is targeted therapeutics, targeted assistance for the liver specifically itself. Now, this is where it gets interesting and really stupidly easy. The trace mineral selenium is to the liver what calcium is to the bones. Your liver needs selenium to do a lot of different things, and selenium, like calcium, is a mineral. The body can't make it. The only way that a mineral gets into the body is if it's in the food. The only way that it gets into the food is if it's in the soil that the food is growing in. And you're rolling the dice if you think that Brazil nuts are going to give you selenium, because even though the Brazil nut tree concentrates selenium, the selenium has to be in the soil for it to do that, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be a thing. This is why we're such strong advocates of supplementation, because the food doesn't have everything that we need. And by the way, that's an academic fact. That's not supposition or hypothesis. It's an academic fact. You must supplement. It's mandatory if you want to be healthy. And selenium, in the form of selenomethionine and sodium selenite, are the most effective forms of selenium. So now when we're taking selenium into the body in therapeutic amounts, it can suck out other things like copper. The relationship between selenium and copper, and this is why we do the foundation pack holistic approach. Because if we were just to take a bunch of selenium to try to upregulate the liver,
you deplete your copper.
deplete your copper, and then you'd have a whole nother set of unintended consequences. And so we've dodged that bullet here before we even started by giving the foundation pad. So the recommendation is upregulate, increase your selenium dosage. Get 1 or 2 bottles of the Ultimate Selenium from Youngevity at OperationFreedomHealth.com. And if you're over 150 pounds, do 2 capsules 3 times a day, 2 capsules 3 times a day for 21 days. If you're under 150 pounds, do 1 capsule 3 times a day for 150 days. And then for 30 days.
30 days, yeah.
And then after that time, if you're under 150 pounds, 1 capsule twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
If you're over 150 pounds, 1 capsule 3 times a day. Now, you can overdose on selenium. It's really hard to do, but it happens every once in a while, once in a blue moon. And symptoms of, too much selenium in your body, your fingernails will get brittle. Your hair will get uncharacteristically dry or brittle. And you'll develop garlicky or fishy breath or perspiration. If any of those things happen, there's too much selenium in your body, just back off on the dosage a little bit. In order to hurt yourself with too much selenium, you need to take it for weeks and months on end. So there's no worries here. And honest to God, being deficient in selenium is much more of a problem than having too much of it, because that rarely happens. Number 2, God made plants, man-made pharmaceuticals. Who do you trust?
I'll go with the plant. Yeah. Especially, hey, anybody that doubted that after the past 2.5 years, we got to be careful what we say. But after the past 2.5 years, if that hadn't taught you anything, to go with the plant.
100%.
Go with the plant.
Nobody does the plants better than good herbs.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's not sales pitch hyperbole. That's, again, an academic fact.
True.
All you have to do is look at the manufacturing process and look at the raw material selection, everything. Nobody does it like good herbs. And number 1, but number 2, once you've figured out how to maximize the effectiveness from the plant itself, which Good Herbs has done, then you have all of these plants to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much of this are we going to use? How much of that are we going to use? Are we going to use that at all? What's the combination going to be like? These recipes that the Good Herbs people have put together are the result, literally, of thousands of years of clinical experience. Thousands. In China, in India, in Iran, interestingly enough, Africa, United States, Appalachia, Canada. There's lots of herbal lore in the world. It's not in the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be in the mainstream.
No, never will.
But this information has been sourced to provide you with an optimal recipe. And so guess what? Good Herbs liver support, not a bad thing to add to your program. So here's my recommendations. Once a year, pick 1 month. I don't care what month it is. Once a year, I'm going to massage my liver program.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you got the 90 into your foundation pack into your body every day. Make sure you've eliminated the 12 bad foods. You take the selenium and get 2 bottles of the Good Herbs liver support. You take 4 mLs twice a day, 4 mLs twice a day, 4 milliliters twice a day of the Good Herbs liver support. Now,
for a month.
For 1 month, 28 days in a row. In a row is kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds of different things can happen to you while you're going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a super incredible amount of energy. Some people feel sluggish or like they've got the flu for 3 or 4 days. Then they'll pop out of it. Any number of things can happen because what you are doing is stimulating the liver to clean itself out and regenerate new liver cells.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a completely different experience than you've ever been through before. The icing on this cake is not a nutritional supplement. It's not a supplement of any kind. It's a fresh squeezed vegetable juice mixture. And I outlined this in my book, Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine, which is also available. This information is available via a subscription at drglidden.com. if you get the book or become a subscriber, find the hepatitis write-up that I did, and follow. There's a 21-day beet juice program that I outlined there. It's ascending doses of beet juice, carrot juice, and apple juice that you take over the course of 21 days. And the naturopathic medical school that I graduated from, is called Bastyr University. Was named after Dr. John Bastyr, who was a pioneer of naturopathic medicine in the 20th century, one of them. And the beet juice program was taught to me by Dr. Bastyr. And that's all that he used. He didn't know about the 90 essential nutrients. He didn't have any clinical experience with selenium. All he did to help people with upregulating their liver was the beet juice thing. It's very powerful. It's very impactful. And when you add it to the rest of the program, and this is an interesting thing to talk about, because in naturopathic medicine, we never subtract anything.
True.
We add to it. Because our therapeutics are based on natural law.
Right.
And so we learn more about things, and all right, we're going to add this. Well, we're never going to take away. And this is a beautiful thing. Once a year, for 28 days in a row, figure it out, and give your liver a break, and you're going to love the way that you feel.
So, full disclosure, the products that Pete and I speak about, the Foundation Pack, the Selenium, the Liver Support, are all available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. And purchasing the products on OperationFreedomHealth.com does support this channel. Now, in addition, on OperationFreedomHealth.com, we have a tremendous amount of free content, one of which is the 12 Bad Foods video that Pete did that's on the very top of OperationFreedomHealth.com. So, again, for optimizing your liver function, the Foundation Pack, which is comprised of 4 entities, correct, Pete?
Yep.
And we have that on the website: the Tangy Tangerine, the OsteoFX, the plant-derived minerals, and the essential fatty acid pills. And so the selenium, the liver support, are all available there. Pete's book, Attempt to Cure with a Holistic Medicine, and Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, are available at drglidden.com. He also has a subscription service at drglidden.com, as he mentioned. The bottom line, folks, is that the path that gets you to wellness, to optimizing your health, is not based on the reliance of big pharmaceutical products. You want to optimize your health, you want to optimize wellness in your life. The most effective way to do that is by harnessing your own body's power and energy and healing capabilities, and then bring, if you will, the fuel in, which are the nutrients. And this comes up all the time, and Pete already mentioned it, but it bears repeating. People are trying to do the right thing and say, I'm eating, in this case, Brazil nuts, so I get selenium. And as Pete mentioned, the soil is devoid of nutrients and minerals. It is a proven fact. And it's only getting worse. If you've been watching this whole fertilizer thing and all this other stuff, the nutrients are getting worse. So you can do all the right things and eat the best organic stuff around and eat you name it. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. And that is where this approach kicks in. Pete, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. I thank you folks for joining us. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for joining us today.